From Screen Junkies Studios in the heart of Los Angeles, this is Screen Junkies GamerFights. Now your host, Matt Raub.
Hey everybody, welcome back to GamerFights, and what is up, Smosh Games? We're on Smosh Games this month, and if you are watching this as a Smosh Games fan, you have no idea what this is. Each and every week over on ScreenJunkies.com, we do a show called GamerFights. It's not like movie fights, it's actually in partnership with movie fights. We have a bunch of our friends and experts and people in the field talking about all things video games and duking it out, and today is no different because it's Comic-Con week. Here we are. We're in the midst of it. We're holographically here, even though we're at Comic-Con, but not really. We've got an amazing fight talking about all things comic books and video games, and you see them waving, so why don't we give it a shout out to our panel this week. Immediately to my left, first up, he's the senior editor at Nerdist, and a man who knows fluent Japanese, Dan Casey.
That's impressive.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks
Happy
for
to
coming.
be here.
I learned that about you after watching one of the new slow-mo Japanese shows.
Yeah, Slow-Mo Destructo, available, I think, on Spotify, soon on Nerdist.com. Just watch it on Nerdist.
You know Jap. That's a new thing I learned about you. It was really interesting.
I like to keep you guessing.
Always on our toes. And to you Smosh Games fans, he is no stranger. He has been on the show before. He didn't fail miserably, but he did fail, and he's back here to try to redeem himself. It's the Jovenshire.
How dare you? I came in last place, but it was a great match. I had a bunch of points.
You got a bunch of the other guests' names wrong.
One. And Jeremy is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
Vsauce 3. I love that guy. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. And rounding out our cast this week, he knows a lot about comic books. He knows a few things about video games. You might not have seen him on Screen Junkies, but he's one of the many, many faces behind the camera. One of the writers here for Screen Junkies, it's Lon Harris.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, Lon.
Hey.
And someone that I've probably known longer than I believe anyone in this building.
A long
More than
time.
7 years.
7 or 8 years, something like
It's
that.
been many, many moons. I, of course, am at Matt Raub. I'm going to be your judge today and ruling completely off terribly and unfairly. No, it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I can't do any of that without my amazing fact checker, Nikole Z. Hi, Nikole.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure that you guys can play along at home after the show at GamerFights #, and fighters, let's be honest, okay? Because I'm going to fact check you.
She's going to fact check all you
She's
guys.
playing Pokemon Go over there. I know she is.
None of that is going to happen. And we're actually, we're really fortunate this week because we have a sponsor. Whoa!
Yay!
This episode is brought to you by Full Sail University. I'll tell you about all that stuff a little later on. But first and foremost, let's fight, guys. Fight.
All right, let's fight some gamers.
dance?
Let's kick some tail. Show me your moves.
Fight!
Intense eye contact the entire time.
Don't make it with me. All right, we are ready to do this. It's Comic-Con week, the Nerdy Gras, as I call it. I think you've called it also.
Yes.
We have all called it Nerdy Gras. So we're talking all things comic books and video games, because,
All right.
you know, why not? There's a little thing called Comic Book Con. And I want to know...
It's not
Strong
called that.
SEO.
It's Comic Book Con.
It's
Not
not
Comic
the
Book Con?
name.
All right, so let's do this. Level 1. Back at E3, and a little before E3, a little game called Injustice 2 was announced, and I could not be more excited. We got a little bit of a hands-on back behind closed doors. It looks amazing. I think they've only really announced like a handful of characters.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I think
five?
6 total.
Yeah, not a lot. But I want to know, before anything is truly announced, and they may even be leaking some stuff this week as Comic-Con is going on, I want to know which unused character from Injustice 1 or the DC Universe deserves to be playable in Injustice 2. Dan Casey, since you are the closest to me, both physically and in life, mostly physically, I want to know your pitch.
Well, I thought long and hard about this, and the DC Comics universe is full of so many amazing characters. Now, I know my competitors will probably go for the low-hanging fruit out there, so I decided to dig a little bit deeper
the
because
dig's
I
already
care about
happened.
you at home. That's why I've chosen Matter Eater Lad, a member of the Legion of Superheroes. He is from the planet Bismol. His superpower is he has incredibly fast metabolism, and he can eat literally anything. Spicy buffalo wings, dirt in a cave, a ray gun, you name it, he can put it in his pearly whites and stomach it down. But you might be saying to yourself, oh, big deal, he can eat anything. I've tried to eat anything, I'm almost as good as him. No, you're not. You're almost as good, but not quite. Because he can also, if he stops eating, that energy builds up inside of him, and he can manifest that into super speed. So picture that in the game. He can not only deflect his enemies' attacks by chomping down on them, not only can he interact with different stuff in the environment. A huge part of the Injustice franchise. Just imagine him taking a huge bite out of maybe like a nuclear missile and then just irradiating his opponent. But he can also activate his super speed to get a little flash action. He's not going to be quite as fast as Barry Allen, but he'll be able to zip from one side to the other. That way you have full control of the map. Guys, it's simple. Don't go for boring cookie cutter answers. You need Matter Eater Lad in your life.
Matter Eater Lad. All right. From the future too, right? Legion
Yes,
of Superheroes.
he is.
That is a deep cut, sir.
Yeah.
That is a deep cut.
And
Maybe 2 people on the internet
There
knew
was
him.
a picture you could get.
They're
You
both
could-
very excited.
everyone can Google.
That was the top Googled image
All
as
right.
well.
Joven, I want to know, what is your Injustice 2 character?
I love a good fighter, and one of my favorite fighters growing up was Clay Fighter. It got me thinking, what character from the DC universe needs to show up in Injustice 2? Well, that, my friend, is, in fact, who did I write down? I'm just kidding. Clayface. Clayface, I think it's safe to say was made popular in the animated Batman TV series, but has been around since the 50s. You've seen him in so many different iterations and forms. 3 different people took up the mantle of Clayface, and I think in Injustice 2, with the fact that you can change your outfits and change your appearance to the point where you literally are different versions of the same character, I think it would be great to see Clayface in his different versions, where you had like the weird hat and like the trench coat, or like the over-the-top giant Clayface from the animated series. Plus, he can turn into anything he's ever touched, I believe is the correct power, so, or anything he's seen, it touched. So
You've done a lot of research.
thank you. Being able to morph and change and like absorb a hit, and I think just the mechanically in a fighting game, having as much as a versatile character like him could be fun. You could wind up utilizing the entire arena. You could he could be very defensive yet very, very offensive. Utilizing, again, like I mentioned, the different appearances. That's going to be big in Injustice 2. He's a fun character with a great background, and we haven't seen enough of him up to this point. Come on.
Clayface. You had to remember Clayface, not Clay Fighter. Okay, Lon Harris, tall order. Who's your fighter?
I'm going with Booster Gold, and I'm going to start by saying, first of all, he's just an underutilized DC character. We've seen so many of the DC characters that keep getting used over and over again. Here's a great character with a fun backstory that we really haven't explored in a lot of games, and he's got a decent amount of sort of depth, too. There's like a lot going on. It's sort of a complex character, which makes it perfect for the Injustice world, where we're sort of playing with the sort of notion of these characters, and we're sort of tweaking their outlook and sort of making this kind of darker version of them. And Booster Gold is such a sort of a comic kind of silly premise that to see like a twisted, dark time traveler from the future, this sort of egomaniacal narcissist who's got all of these future tech weapons to play with, could be a lot of fun. I also think he's got Skeet, which is this little AI security robot from the future. Skeets. I see what you're doing. Skeets has, he's got lasers, he's got an energy blaster, he's got any sort of tool and weapon that you want. He's got knowledge of the future, and there's a million ways that you could work that into like an exciting special move. And finally, time travel powers. He's got the time sphere, Booster Gold, so he could even be going back in time a little bit or speeding up a little bit, and so much opportunity for like creative ways to come up with moves and dodges and blocks. I think it's an obvious fit for a fighting game.
Okay, all right. Wow, man, this is an obscure battle if I've ever seen one. Matter Eater Lad, Clayface, Booster Gold. Also, something I want to throw out there, the new Injustice game does have a lot of like character modification and stuff, so let's have that work into your arguments. Guys, fight it out. Duke it.
I did mention the modifications in order to make Clayface look like the different iterations of Clayface. There's a lot to choose from, and
Yeah,
so
you could wear a hat or a bow tie or a Clayface with suspenders.
yeah, all of which
Look,
are great options.
Clayface, you described an amorphous character who can change his shape based on what he touches, and you mentioned different hats that he can wear. You're just describing Kirby from Super Smash Brothers.
And how is
with
he
the
not
Batman
one of the best
Snapchat
characters?
filters?
How is that not one of the best Super Smash Brothers characters? But that is neither here nor there.
But there's so many Batman villain games. We've already had a big Clayface fight at the end of Arkham City. Like, we're going to mix it up.
I would still say it was underutilized, but if you want to talk about overused, your character's special abilities lasers, boosts, time
Skeets.
travel, a skeet, all of which we've
Never
seen in
fought with
Injustice
skeets
characters.
before in a game.
Everything we've already seen in Injustice characters. Let's have something new. Let's have something fun. If you put all three of these characters into a ring right now, Clayface would obviously win.
Oh, I think that is a gross misrepresentation of Mr. Face's abilities. Please, if you want to play as someone who can turn into other characters, just play as those other characters in the first place. There's no need to waste time and development efforts making this person playable.
No, he's a tank-like character, which in Injustice we only had 2 or 3 characters. It's a underutilized mechanic in most fighting games, actually. Let's look at the idea of your character. It could eat anything. It's one thing for Wonder Woman to block some shots with her wrists, which are as tiny as it is. Try to beat Batman. Oh, here comes a batarang. I hope I can gnaw on it while it's flinging at me.
Absolutely. He can eat it at speed, digest it faster. It's all about getting those quick, not
can't get
dirty
it in there,
calories.
That's only one kind of move.
does he have
He's
super-
just chomping everything.
Does he have super
deflecting.
teeth? Does he have super teeth?
Yeah.
What about that calcium buildup?
Exactly. Look, he can eat all the milk that he needs to enhance his bones. He is thoroughly not osteoporosed, I might add.
I think the real winner of this round, whoever it may be, needs to be a character that can be most utilized in Injustice 2 with all of its features. And I do think as a fighter and as the customization options that are being available, I think that Clayface is the best choice for it.
And I mean, narratively, if I could just throw in one more thing. Narratively, I don't see how a League of Superheroes character even makes sense in the Injustice world. He wouldn't have any
All
of
right.
his. He wouldn't have any of his cohorts. There's no Bouncing Boy, Shrinking Violet, Invisible Kid, Chameleon Boy, say.
Yeah.
Without any of that world,
It
how does
doesn't
it
even
fit
fit
Here's
into the
what
world?
In the
happened
Injustice
canonically in the comics. After he ate the Miracle Machine, he went temporarily insane, much like many of the characters in Injustice. Ergo, if you follow that logic, you could find a reason to insert Matter Eater Lad. I don't know, something with a boom tube, Mother Box, who cares? He winds up there. There's no explanation for why half of those characters are there, but they're there nonetheless because it's a DC Universe fighter.
Why would they fit into the larger universe sort of more neatly? They've been used more contemporarily with all these other characters than just stranding an obscure 60s character into sort of the midst of it.
Look, I would say that Booster Gold is just as obscure in many respects. He's underutilized, you said, but he's also largely responsible, in my mind, for creating the garbage fire that was the New 52.
Whoa!
Because if you read that 52 weekly comic, it was him and Skeets every week just ruining everything.
All right, well, that, yes. New 52, on a completely different debate, wasn't that bad.
Okay, let's stay on topic here. Let's stay on topic. All right, final thoughts, Lon. Why Booster Gold deserves to be in Injustice 2 over Clayface and Matter Eater Lad. Go ahead.
I mean, the idea of using this sort of time warp, he's also got sort of the force shield ability, so the combination of those two powers is really interesting and hasn't been used as a mechanic in any of these games before. I really think, especially with the sort of large scale, like the 3-dimensional map element, being able to sort of jump forward in time, surprise your enemy coming from somewhere else, could be a really interesting mechanic for these games to explore. I think that's what this character sort of gives a unique ability to do.
We haven't seen that before.
Okay.
Scorpion.
Jovenshire,
Scorpion.
final thoughts on why Clayface is better than the other two?
Clayface, I think he works in the timeline well. I think he could be utilized in the story development of the game. I think that mechanically, like I mentioned, he's going to be very versatile when it comes to his abilities, his fighting style. He's a tank character. And come on, Basil. He's used to be an actor, and now he's got all the clay on his face.
Okay.
Yes, it's great for the skin.
Yeah. All right. Dan, the obscure character here, Matter Eater Lad. Why does he deserve to be in the game over the other two?
Look, Matter Eater Lad is like no one you've ever played in a fighting game before. His mixture of super speed, super strength, and unique blocking abilities will be a joy to play, especially with the interactability that is paramount to Injustice 2's design. And also, he's not just like the discount version of Kirby. He's not this like future reality
discount
TV
version
star.
of Wario.
He's not the reality TV star that pals around with the Diet Cola version of Jarvis from Iron Man. He is a unique creation and one that you want to explore on a deeper level.
Okay. Okay.
Man,
Getting
I think
deep
we're
with
on a
Matter
date
Eater
with
Lad.
him.
Nikole, what are your thoughts on kind of where everyone landed here?
A lot of great conversation
Some
being
facts
had.
here?
But factually speaking, as far as Matter Eater Lad powers, he would not be able to stop speed because speed doesn't matter, whereas electricity and fire are. So there's a debate about what matter is and he
man,
can take on
that's
all
good.
powers.
You started a debate about what matter is.
Matters.
Getting deep here on GamerFights, guys.
Joven talked about Clayface having 3 iterations. There's actually almost 10, not counting Clayface clones.
Clay clones.
Clay clones, and he did
Or clone
mention the
face.
ability to shapeshift and move their clay-like bodies. But the original had no powers, and he was just a B movie star who had dressed up weird and then became a criminal. And
I love
then
Batman history.
He's just a
very
really
bizarre.
dirty guy.
Yeah, but that's it basically. He was the Blob, but they couldn't get the rights to the Blob. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then for Booster Gold, you guys argued that which Matter Eater lad was so obscure, and then argued that Booster was also obscure, but he actually was featured in Smallville and as well as several other animated cartoons. So he's much more well known.
She didn't even have to Google that. She just knew that. She loves Smallville.
Yeah, it's a great episode of Justice League Unlimited. I will concede
It's
that.
true.
And
it's
Batman
true.
Brave and the Bold. I believe
Yep,
you
also
put in there
Batman
as
Brave and the Bold. Okay, all right. I think I've made my decision. It is very obscure. Matter is a lot. We have a lot of matter around us. But in terms of who deserves to be in the game the most, I feel like Booster Gold is just kind of a clone copy of everybody else. Honestly, I feel like a discount Kirby, which kind of worked in his favor, he deserves to be in the game the most. I'm giving this to Jovenshire.
Hoisted by my own petard.
Your damn petards. I told you about those petards.
Hoisting.
Stop the hoisting. Okay, level do.
I would like to admit it's all downhill for me here.
Yeah, you're out of luck, buddy.
Famous humility.
Classic Jovenshire. So, a little Blu-ray hit this week that was supposed to fix a big problem called Batman v Superman. It didn't. We've all seen it at this point. It's it is what it
Fixed
is.
my problem that it was too short.
Yeah, I feel like it needs to be a solid 3 hours. Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Edition does come out on Blu-ray, or did come out on Blu-ray this past week, and if it taught us one thing, aside from Zack Snyder should not be in control, it taught us the power of a good mom. You know, mom, that lady.
Also, don't drink green peach or peach green tea.
Don't do that. Don't do
drink
that.
that.
My question to you guys is, who is the best video game mom? And Martha doesn't count because she was in the comics first. So my question to you guys, Joven, you took the lead here, so why don't we start with you?
We can start with me. There's a little game. It's called Mass Effect 2. It's an amazing game full of great characters, including a great mother. That great mother is Samara. She's a Justicar. She's an Asari. And they are wonderful individuals that live for thousands of years. And she's an older Asari. She's seen a lot. She knows a lot. And she's got 3 daughters. And her daughters, unfortunately, have this disease that some Asari get, where as they mate with others, they do this mind melding thing. That's just something that Asaris do. But her daughters have a disease that they have to kill them afterwards, or wind up killing them in the process. And 2 of the daughters go into hiding, but the 3rd daughter goes rogue and starts killing everyone. Samara, being the good mother that she is, she knows it's her responsibility to take. It's her responsibility to take responsibility for her child, and goes out and tries to stop her. And what other mother would do the ultimate sacrifice of killing their own daughter just to save the world? Because she didn't want that daughter to be hated and feared by others. She killed her daughter with the help of Commander Shepard, and she stopped a lot of evil in the world.
Okay. Okay, you're rambling. I'm going to move on. Mass Effect, correct?
Yes.
All right. I love
Samara,
it. Samara from Mass Effect. Lon, who's your mom?
I think, thinking about this, I was trying to think, who's the most present mother in a video game or video game series, and who's the mother that does the most for her child? And I had to go with the mom in Pokemon. When she appears at the beginning, she often gives you some shoes. And I think what's interesting about her is that it's not a character in the game's mom. It's your mom.
Oh.
It's not Ash's mom. It's your mom. You can actually put your own name and she's addressing you. And what other game has given you not just a mother, but a helpful mother who nurtures you, who cares about your goals and hobbies, who wants you to become... You may go tell your real life mom that you want to be a Pokemon master and catch them all. She's probably going to be dismissive of that goal and tell you to do your schoolwork or take out the trash.
Job.
I had that same conversation with my mom.
In the world of Pokemon, your mom is like, that sounds like a great journey. Let's do it. Here's some shoes. First time I was just like, you're gonna give me shoes.
She loves giving out those
But she's
shoes.
encouraging. She wants you to follow your dreams. And she's present. She doesn't die in the first act. You don't see her only in visions because you had a tortured childhood. She's there helping you every step of the way.
Okay, your mom. I like that from Pokemon. And Dan?
Now, Lon is partially right.
Oh, let's hear your pitch first here.
The best mom is, in fact, in Pokemon, but it is not your mom. That's ridiculous. The correct answer is Kangaskhan, a female species, 100% female species. By their nature, they are all moms. They protect their young at all costs. They're often depicted with their the baby Kangaskhan sitting in their little pouch, stays there for up to 3 years, and then the mom is so generous, the Kangas mom is so generous, she will sleep standing up so as not to crush her baby, and if the child is endangered, she will fight until the death or fainting, whatever parlance you want to use, before she lets any harm come to her child. And it's even been showed that sort of empathy extends past her own brood into other people too. In the episode, The Kangaskhan Kid of the Pokemon animated series, the original one that used to air on Kids WB. WB! She protected a human child. Look, Kangaskhan, she will fight for her child. She will fight for your child. She won't send them out into the world.
Will she fight for my right to party?
Yes, if you ask her kindly and treat her well as a trainer. But no, I think that it's in her very genetic code to be a good mom, to be a better mom, to be the best mom.
Okay, Kangaskhan, Samara from Mass Effect, Pokemon. Guys, fight. Why is yours the best?
All right. You're mentioning one mom, but of many moms. You're talking about a Kangaskhan, but not every Kangaskhan could be as nurturing.
Yes.
There could be some, things happen in nature where not every mom is going to be that great. Your mom is a thief.
Wow, that was fighting words.
There's not even talking about the game anymore.
How dare you? In Pokemon, I believe it was Gold and Silver, you could
give her money.
You can give her money to hold on to your money, and then she will go out and spend your money on things for around the house.
Helpful things.
And
She
be
will
like,
rob
"Oops."
you blind. She's like a
I
stage mom.
spent some of your mom. That's exactly. Your
Listen.
mom is a stage mom, and your mom is one of many, and could not be proven as a constant theme.
Yes,
found
it's
throughout.
genetic across Kangaskhans. They are excellent moms in their DNA at a molecular level.
Whereas
they are the
my mom-
perfect combination
my mom,
of nature
Samara.
and nurture. Your mom Samara
Is a murderer.
Her claim to
And
fame.
it's a blood vendetta.
She's willing to let her children go off and be alone and die. It's only through you, the player, as Commander Shepard, going to talk to her that you convince her to let you reverse honeypot her daughter so you can murder her together.
Exactly.
What part of
it is
motherhood?
the ultimate sacrifice.
No, but you're describing a terrible mom, like, I will kill my child to benefit others, which is the opposite of being a good
because
mom.
the two other daughters, she keeps safe and off to the side and secluded.
Let's have depressing, horrible lives in total
and she's
isolation.
a biotic, which is bonus points. Nikole will back me up on that.
All right, Joven, I think you might be fighting a losing battle here, buddy.
Oh my god.
If I could just respond, if you were an adult, we're all grown adult men here. If you lived with your mom and you gave her a little bit of money every month, she should use that for things around the house. What kind of selfish, horrible sons would you be?
The kind of
You're like,
son-
that's my money that I need to go out and
I
play with
worked
my
on that.
monsters.
I'm the kind of son that was banished to the outside world at age 10 to go and hunt monsters by my unfeeling creator.
You
because
wanted to go. She's not pushing
like,
you out the
hey,
door."
you want to have an adventure? Don't be back by dinner. Stay out for the rest of your life. Also, if you give me money, I'm gonna steal it
That is
because
a
I hate
supportive
you
mother.
and I don't give a crap about
Just
child
gotta-
labor laws.
If you give money, it's not stealing if you give it.
You were
She's not
asking
stealing.
someone to hold on to it is not the same as giving. That is a very no court in the land would uphold that argument.
But yours, at the end of the day, is an animal or a beast of sorts. We've
Wow.
seen nourishing, very nourishing mothers and creatures that have eaten their young, even though they're out there to protect them. How do we know?
It's
In which you have no
If you're
proof.
talking about eating their young, Samara murdering Morinth is like that expanded to like a galactic scale.
No, but because she loved her daughter.
Yeah,
also-
loved murdering her daughter.
Yeah.
Their children don't have a choice either about becoming gladiator fighters. They're being raised in a situation of total violence. That all they're learning is go kill. And actually, as they evolve, the kids leave the pouch and go murder.
Yeah.
She's training
What are
them to
you
be
teaching them?
Go
young
murder. They
sociopaths.
graze in the safari zone. It's only because human encroachment destroying their natural habitat. They used to have a wider habitat, but then humans are like, oh, you know what? We need to have a Cerulean City, or maybe we'll have Cinnabar Island. Hey, you know what would be great? A ship where we can just take cruises and mess with the Magmars.
But you were arguing that she's tough by nature, not that she was trained by humans.
She is tough by nature because
she's training
she's
them to fight.
evolved. She's adapted. And in her mega evolution, she fights alongside her baby.
So
not against
maybe
it.
would be her ancestor.
Okay, all right, okay, all right.
Samara.
Final thoughts, everybody. Yeah, Samara. Let's talk more about that. Joven,
I would like to mention before you vote, I looked over many top 5, top 10s of best and worst moms.
You can even
There
pick
are
your
no
own.
good moms. There are no good moms in video games.
that's
no
not
good
true.
moms.
There's one in this group, probably.
There's a better one in this group. Not a good one.
Okay, Joven, are you just bowing out of this one, or do you have final thoughts?
No, my final thoughts are that at the end of the day, a mother knows what's best for her children. And sometimes death is what's best.
Wow.
This mother loves her daughter so much, she went to like one of the most respected people in the galaxy and was, hey, dude, you want to hook up with my daughter? She's pretty hot. She's kind of crazy, but I'm going to let you hook up with her for a second. I'm going to kill her during the process, but hey, you can go hit on her.
You're not helping your case.
Man, I lost this one for
Yeah,
the
you lost this one for sure. Okay, Lon, Pokemon, why she's better than Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan.
I mean, we're talking about a mother who is present in every iteration of the game and who is there to support you. 98% of video game moms are not even present. They're not even there. They don't do anything for you. Here's a mom who is your mom, who is greeting you at the beginning of every game, who is helping you out, and yeah, buying things for the home that help you, buying items in the game, not just losing your money, giving it away to other players or what have you. So I think the choice is clear. You talk about a brutal, maternalistic society, where a matriarchy, where children are being thrown into the fighting pits from birth, or are you talking about a supportive, caring mom who just wants what's best for you, wants to send you out on a trip?
Okay, all right,
To
Dan.
go fight those animals.
Dan, final thoughts.
Now, if your idea of motherhood is slaughtering your own young, then vote for Joven. If your idea of motherhood is being a negligent thief who banishes her son to wander the wilderness and face murder at every corner,
banishment.
then vote for Lon. But if your idea of motherhood is one in which it's ingrained on a genetic level, not only nature but also nurture, and someone who is named for Genghis Khan and kangaroos, it's the perfect combination, because Genghis Khan, according to statistics as of 2010, 1 in 200 men is descended from Genghis Khan. It's in her
greatest
name.
father.
She is the mother to us all. It's been proven on the show. It's
Or
been
at least
proven
1 in
just
10 of
now.
us.
She's the best. She will fight for you if you are a tiny
All right,
Genghis
hands
Khan.
down, in a MILF contest,
Hold on.
my mom wins though.
No, sure.
I don't
yes,
know.
absolutely.
Black and
Have
white-
you seen
black and white
Kangaskhan?
Pokemon.
All right, okay,
Black
all
and
right,
white
hold on. Here we go.
Pokemon.
Rule
Nicole, thoughts?
I mean, okay. Okay, so first off, Kangaskhan, yes, they are all female, but I will say that not all females are inherently mothers, and you don't need to be one to be fulfilled. Okay.
This is about facts, actually.
I
not opinions.
apologize to the...
The boy that he mentioned in the Pokemon anime is named Tommy. That did actually happen. And it wasn't just that Kangaskhan. There was actually a whole Kangaskhan herd that was part of the, takes a village mentality. All Kangaskhan are featured with their baby, except for when they have the Mega Evolution, in which case the baby leaves the pouch, which is the only time that a Kangaskhan is featured not having a baby in his pouch.
Sounds unmotherly to me.
Shush.
I mean, or it's just time to leave the pouch.
Okay.
So Samara is, like you said, in Asari, and her daughters have a disease. It's called Yakshi, and she would like to stop her daughter, but her daughter doesn't just have this disease that when you meld your nervous systems, she doesn't just have it. She's actively going out and killing people, and so you can choose to not side with Samara, in which case the daughter kills her, whatever. And Joven said he wanted me to check that she is a biotic, so that is true.
Hey, you got one.
And so for Pokemon, Dan mentioned that she banishes her son. She can also banish her daughter. And that the shoes that you get aren't just shoes; they're running shoes, and they are a game changer.
Okay.
Just put that out there.
All right. Awesome.
So MILF contest, I win.
All right. No one's milfing. All right. I think honestly, based on your arguments, gotta give this one to Dan. I mean, inherent nature, genetics, shoes.
Those are words.
Those are all words.
Those are words that
They're
were
all
said.
words.
Those are facts.
Those are, yeah. Okay. All right. This is level 3, boys and girls. Woo. Here we go. Comic-Con. is the theme of this episode. And what is Comic-Con, Comic Book Con, if not about comic books somewhere deep in Hall H, where you'll find a comic book somewhere.
Many years ago.
Many moons. So my question to you, we've seen some amazing arcs translated from comic books to video games. No Man's Land in Arkham City, Injustice in Injustice, things like that. I want to know from you guys what comic book story arc needs to be and should be adapted into a video game. Lon, let's go
Pull
first.
up the rear?
Yeah, let's pull up the rear here.
Well, I'm saying Flashpoint. And mainly because I love the idea of putting a game in the middle of this huge civilization-changing battle between the Atlanteans and the Amazonians of Themyscira. And the idea of sort of taking that, you can have a story mode, you can have a single-player game where you're Barry Allen, the Flash, who's accidentally triggered this sort of alternate timeline. Or you could play multiplayer, more like a Battlefront type game, where you're actually in the middle of all of this war, and you're playing as Atlanteans or Amazonians, and you could pick up sort of pickups and become DC Universe heroes like Green Lantern, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, all these great characters, many of whom we don't really get to play as very often in these kinds of games. And I think that's really where it would come to life. So the story mode you get, sort of a new way to take on sort of Flash powers and sort of, plugging into the Speed Force, which I think would be really cool to realize in a video game. We've never really seen that before. Sort of a meld of like Sonic with some other sort of more modern kind of controls. But really, I think it's that battle mode that you want to play in Flashpoint with your friends.
Awesome. Joven, let's hear your comic book arc.
Mine is a rather recent arc. It's about 6 months old now. It's starring two of America's favorite characters in the superhero world right now, Spider-Man and Deadpool. They have a very, very fun crossover story arc happening where Deadpool is supposed to kill Peter Parker, but is friends with Spider-Man and doesn't know Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And the reason this game would be great is seeing Spider-Man and Deadpool team up together. They're widely known for being very talkative characters. The dialogue in this game would be hilarious. It would be amazing. We actually saw these two characters in a game together at the same time during, I believe, the first Shattered Dimensions Spider-Man game. There was a Deadpool stage and Spider-Man had to fight Deadpool, and it was a lot of fun. Just the dialogue between the two characters was hilarious. You couldn't stop laughing. And more importantly, this game would have elements for both sides because, yes, they're both superheroes, but they play very differently. Spider-Man would be able to access areas that Deadpool wouldn't be able to access from larger heights, would be able to swing around, would have his dialogue at the same time. You'd be able to do a stage a second time, replay the stage, but now as Deadpool, be able to access different parts of the stage that Spider-Man wouldn't be able to get to. And while Spider-Man's trying to have a conversation with Deadpool, you'd actually just hear the voices in Deadpool's head. So you'd have a completely different playthrough every time you do a stage with a different character. You'd have signature play styles with Spider-Man swinging around, being melee combat, but with Deadpool you'd be able to switch it up with whether it be melee with swords or shooting up with his guns, and of course munching on some chimichangas. I think just overall it would be a very fun experience, and right now everyone's excited about a new Spider-Man movie and the next Deadpool movie. I think it's what the people need now.
Okay, Spider-Man, Deadpool. Mr. Dan Casey.
Now, my argument is for a little comic book, an original graphic novel called Marvels. It was a 4-issue original graphic novel by Kurt Busiek, Alex Ross, some of the most beautiful paintings and renditions of the Marvel Universe I've ever seen. It takes place over the course of 1939 to 1974 and follows the photojournalist Phil Sheldon, who basically chronicles through his photographs the emergence of superheroes in the Marvel Universe and is there for all these major events as they unfold over the Marvel timeline. So you're really seeing superheroes rise to power and sort of struggle with what it means to be a hero and also sort of the collateral damage. During a fight, a superhero fight, he gets injured, crushed by some falling debris, and permanently blinded in his left eye. And I think that this could be a really fascinating way to explore the world of superheroes, particularly Marvel, that we haven't seen before. There's so many games that let you control superheroes and be the superhero. This would be not as simplistic as Pokemon Snap. I'm thinking something more like Life is Strange, where it's an adventure game. You get to explore. There are branching decisions. You have to make important, consequential choices, and you are chronicling what's going on. And you can have that Pokemon Snap element of how the quality of the pictures that you take, but this is a way to tell a story about superheroes rather than thrusting you into the same tired role that we've seen again and again and again. These are new mechanics. This is a chance for deep, thoughtful, mature storytelling storytelling, the likes of which superhero games and comic book games sorely need.
All right, man. This is intense. Very different arcs, all of these. Flashpoint, Paradox, Deadpool, Spider-Man, and Marvel's Guys Fight. Tell me why yours is better than the other two.
You're picking a story that's so supremely well suited to being told in the comic book form. I mean, we have Marvel's in this great way for the references, the layers to kind of work out this more realistic take. Taking it and putting it immediately back into a video game almost robs it of that authenticity and robs it of what sort of makes it work, which is that it's a commentary on comics that is a comic as opposed to a game. So I sort of don't feel like why take it away from the great Alex Ross artwork and why take it away from the medium where it's so perfectly suited and make it into another medium. I think the game you're describing could be interesting, but I think it's like make an original story that's suited to be a video game. And for years, we've had a Deadpool game. We've had so many Spider-Man games. Why we need more of these two characters. We need more of this environment.
Have you ever visited a place called America? Yeah, we like the same thing
Deadpool's
over and over and
Canadian.
over. Yeah, but he's Canadian, but we love playing Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
We want more Deadpool. We wanted more Deadpool so badly that they re-released Deadpool on Xbox One so that we could play it again for those who missed it the first time.
We also allowed the XFL to happen. America's not always
We
right.
learned from that.
Look,
though.
the greatest nation on earth is sometimes wrong. No, but I think that to your point, you said that it'd be a very dialogue-heavy game. Now, to you, that might seem like a plus. It might be hilarious dialogue, but humor is subjective. And to me, that sounds like my waking nightmare. That is a quip every 0.001 seconds, and not all of them are going to be great. A lot of them are going to be exceedingly groan-worthy. Think like dad jokes writ large, because think about game writing, especially for superhero games currently. Think about the level of writing that would be in that game. And then think about how it could be elevated by telling a really thoughtful story, like in Marvel's. Think about that for a second. It would flip the script like we haven't seen before.
And you're right, it would flip the script, because when I sit down to play a superhero game, the last thing I want to do is be a superhero. When I play a video game, I want to be able to escape, I want to jump from tall buildings, have superpowers, have a great time. You're right, humor is subjective. So though it could seem like a groan fest for you, could be gold for someone else. And it's already been proven that it does work in the stage of Spider-Man where he's fighting Deadpool. It wasn't too much. There's a good balance. There's good writers out there making great video games. Your game, honestly, if it was just a Battlefront style game, I think it would be a lot of fun. I think seeing that in the DC world would be cool, but you have two different games in one game, and very, very rarely does that work. It takes a large development team to make something like that, and they will never have the focus they need for a good overall game. Whereas you throw in something we've seen before, something that works, and then put it in a package that we haven't seen before, and that is how you kind of innovate the gaming space. You make something that you know people will like, and it's a little bit different than they've seen before.
Well, to Lon's point, how he said that Marvel's would just be sort of taking that comic and just slapping in a video game, I would argue that Flashpoint, adapting that to a video game, cheapens the story and doesn't really do it justice. It does it injustice. God's definitely not among us for that one. I think that it would not be able to capture the scope and the scale. Rather, you'd have some moments. It'd be like the poor man's highlight reel of one of the more enjoyable event comics of the last decade.
Well, because I don't think any of these games are going to be about relating to you the story from the book. I mean, if you're interested in Flashpoint, you should definitely go read it. Same with Marvel, same with Spider-Man and Deadpool. It's about taking that experience and bringing pieces of it to the player and letting them sort of live through it and experience it. I mean, getting to play through a level as Thomas Wayne in his version of Batman from that alternate reality. Like, I think players would really enjoy that. And I think the fact that you're not, and I think that you're not, the fact that you're not getting the full, complete story as it appears in the comics isn't really a downside. As for Spider-Man Deadpool, I think you said yourself, it's only 6 months old. We haven't really explored so much of that world. You're making it really hard on the development team that's got to put a game together. They don't have a lot to work on yet.
You never want to have, we've seen this with video game movies, you never want to have a development team have to make something that's too close to the source material, especially while it's rather new, because they don't know where it's going. It's going to take a while to make the game. You have a relationship, you give them a mission, and then you run with that idea. It's gold for a developer.
Okay, guys. All right, let's hear your final thoughts. Lon, let's start with you. Final thoughts on why Flashpoint deserves a video game over the other two.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a way to sort of take on, much like when we were talking about with Injustice, it's this totally different version of the DC universe that you really have never had a chance to explore before, and giving gamers this sort of first-person perspective into exploring that world and playing in that world. I mean, I do think I would be sort of willing to chuck the story mode. If all they can figure out is the multiplayer mode, let's do the multiplayer mode, because I think that's really where a lot of the fun of playing is, all of these different heroes in these huge, epic scale. I mean, the Flashpoint, the war that's going on, is civilization ending, and humanity is sort of caught in between these two super-powered armies. And I mean, I think the experience of bringing that to like a console and letting people sort of co-op and join in and play those battles together, there isn't really anything else out there doing that in a comic book world.
Gotcha. Okay. Joven, final thoughts.
Final thoughts is the same reason why Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are so great. You people love peanut butter, people love chocolate, you put them together, it's fantastic. If you went to Activision right now with all three of these pitches, they would go with Deadpool Spider-Man because
they have the rights?
Because they have the rights, and it's because you have two fan favorites. It's going to make money. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay. Dan Casey.
If we're divorcing this from economics and focusing on what makes genuinely good gameplay, I would urge you to vote for Marvel's, because I think that it tells a unique story in the Marvel Universe and divorces you from well-trodden ground. I think that you could sort of carve your own path in the style, like a Telltale game where you have different choices that you have to make, and I think that that freedom of choice and that ability to be a tangential character, observing and affecting parts of the things that happen in this world, could be a very thrilling way to experience the MCU of video games.
All right. All great. Nikole, a lot of things thrown out there. Any facts you want to correct us on?
Just a few quick things. One, Joven mentioned that he could see the movie universe following his video game pitch with Spider-Man and Deadpool, and the director of Deadpool, Tim Miller, did say that he would love to see a Spider-Man crossover in the future of his films. So that's definitely something that they're thinking about on some level. As for Flashpoint, I want to point out that Lon picked Booster Gold earlier, and there was a crossover within Flashpoint, and I just think that's some good answer synergy. And then he also argued...
no points for that, Lon. I'm sorry.
Lon also argued that we have too many Spider-Man games, and there's too much in the market, but you could also argue that the Flashpoint market could be oversaturated, as Grant Gustin has tweeted that the third season premiere of The Flash will be called Flashpoint.
That's a tie-in. That's not oversaturation.
It's synergy.
Okay. All really, really good points here. I do think some of the things you guys said was great. Flashpoint, while would be great, I think you had a point, is kind of been done. There's oversaturation. You do mention the Injustice tie-in. Spider-Man being quiptastic, I will admit, even reading the comics, sometimes it's a little like, okay. No, I agree. Okay. A tough part is your Pokemon Snap meets Marvel superheroes. It's a little tough. Honestly, it's really between Spider-Man, Deadpool, Marvel's, Flashpoint. It's tough. It has been done to death a little bit. Yeah. Honestly, I think you hit a lot of good points, and you've hit two good things. If you can make a Life is Strange Telltale baby and call it Marvel's and set in the Marvel Universe, Dan Casey, you got this one right there. Look at that. That's right there.
Did you ever use the word Telltale?
He did, actually. I wrote it down when I used it. Give it a Telltale Universe.
I knew as soon as you said Telltale, I'm like, that's what it's going to be. I'm like, that's going to be a fun game. I would want to play that game.
I mean, to be fair, I would play the crap out of a Flashpoint multiplayer battle game.
One point you mentioned, I feel like they lifted a lot of it for Injustice. There's a lot of like Aquaman versus the Amazonians.
It's a much different scale.
It's a very different alternate. They're both alternate DC universes where some of the characters are darker.
Everyone's always fighting everyone.
But they're always darker, grittier.
I just love the idea of, like, in Battlefront you have to pick up to become a hero, right. And in this, like, here's the superhero, and all of a sudden you're flying around as Thomas Wayne, or you're the Green Lantern.
All right, guys.
Aquaman,
all right,
Wonder
so
Woman.
Here's what we got. So currently you're in the lead, Mr. Casey, a fights virgin here at Screen Junkies and Smosh Games. Joven, not 0 points. That's great.
That's all that matters.
It's a good job. Also, Lon, you're making
0
your
points.
debut.
Yeah.
You're getting there.
We have great arguments.
We have an opportunity here for everyone to possibly even out. Maybe even one of you to take the lead or the tied lead. We're calling this character fight. Before we started today, I asked each of you to think of a video game character that originated in a video game that you'd want to defend for. And we went out to fans and asked them what we would like for them to fight in. What was this fight scenario? And you guys can actually fight at home using the hashtag GamerFights. I wanted to know what these guys should fight in, and because it is Comic-Con week, I will get there, but I want to hear your fights first. Who are your characters?
So we choose a character first, and then you're going to put them in a situation.
I'm going to put them in a situation.
All right.
I'm going to go with Dr. Robotnik,
Okay.
a.k.a. Dr. Eggman, if you're nasty. The villain of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Dr. Robotnik, Joven?
I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I know I talk about Mass Effect a lot, but I'm going to go with Commander Shepard. It seems like he's diverse enough to take on anything.
Lon?
Trevor Phillips, GTA 5.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
I would like to
I
mention
that.
mine is the Biotics version of Commander Shepard, just to be clear, if it's needed.
Yes, biotics. You love your biotics. And
this is
I do
pandering.
want to mention to you guys, this is also worth 2 points. Ooh. And I'm letting you guys fight blind because the fight this week is, I want to know, of these 3 characters, Dr. Robotnik, Shepard, and Trevor, who would be the best to go to San Diego Comic-Con with?
Oh, my God.
Mr. Dan Casey, you're in the lead.
All right.
So I want you to start. Tell me why Robotnik would be the best to go to
Look,
Comic-Con with.
Dr. Robotnik would be the best person to go to San Diego Comic-Con with because, A, he can help you bypass all the lines in the crowd. You can hop into his, floating egg ship and just sail over that Hall H line. Who needs to wait to see the cast of Game of Thrones? Not you if you're rolling with Robotnik, baby. And also, there's a lot of furries at Comic-Con, and, that might not be your bag, or they might be blocking an entrance. He can turn them into robot versions that will help you get those exclusive Funkos. Just pops them in his machine, they come out as weird little murder bots, and hey, you got some new robo friends with your mustachioed pal, Dr. Robotnik.
Okay. All right, Dr. Robotnik and his damn floating egg ship. Joven, why Shep would be the best person to go to Comic-Con with?
Have you tried to traverse the streets of San Diego during Comic-Con? It is horrible. Don't get an Uber. It's going to take too much time. Don't try to drive. You'll be stuck in traffic. You need the Normandy. He's going to fly you around to wherever you need to be, drop you off in the precise location you want to be at. Also, Commander Shepard is a galactic hero. He's known throughout every planet, all over the universe. Guess what? The celebrities that you want to see at Comic-Con, they want to meet Commander Shepard. They want to shake his hand. He's going to get you into all the best parties. He's going to use a biotic field on you when things start to feel a little too mush, and keep that con virus away from you so you don't wind up getting sick. Plus, he gets all the ladies. Just point at a lady, and he's going to be the best wingman you can get.
Okay, all right. Lon Harris, Trevor from GTA 5. Definitely a guy I'd want to buddy up with at Comic-Con. Why is he the best?
I mean, it's sort of. Do I even have to make an argument? It's a non-stop party. You're going on vacation. You're going to a different town. You're not from there. What do you care? You're gonna live it up the whole time with Trevor Phillips. He doesn't care about Comic-Con. He doesn't care about which panel you want to go see. He'll go with you wherever you want to go. He'll help you sneak in. You don't have to worry about getting around. Oh, traffic's bad. Just take a car wherever you are. Get around however you want. Drive over anything that could possibly be in your path. You're completely mobile the whole time. Plus, everyone at Comic-Con thinks you're hanging out with Michael Shannon. What could be better than that? No matter where you go, no need for cosplay. People are like, oh my God, General Zod's there with that guy. That's awesome.
Okay, all right. Guys, fight it out. Who's the best?
All right, right away. Considering the amount of ill will there is towards Man of Steel, I don't think you want to be perceived as hanging out with General Zod. Second of all, Trevor Phillips will get you kicked out of Comic-Con and probably San Diego and maybe even the state of California.
Or maybe 3 days later.
You
once
get
it's
arrested
over.
with him.
Like when they don't let you ask your question in Hall H, he's burning Hall H to the ground.
Good, because they should let me ask my question.
Whether or
I had
not-
a very important question.
Whether or not they should salt the earth and let nothing grow aside, Trevor is not going to have patience for you sitting through an entire Q&A with the cast of Continuum.
Well, the parameters of the question were assuming they're going to Comic-Con with us. I mean, Commander Shepard doesn't have time to be at Comic-Con. He's
No.
very busy on intergalactic
Commander
business.
Shepard is a bad choice for a number of reasons. A, he's the best wingman. He's only concerned with getting all sorts of intergalactic strange for himself, first of all. Also, you say you can ride the Normandy to beat traffic. The Normandy's always busy calibrating. It can never go where you want to go. And you want to drive the Mako on the streets of San Diego?
Calibrating during the downtime, so when it is time for Commander to say time to go, it's time to go. It's already calibrated. First of all, who said it is male Shepard? I said biotic Shepard.
Either way, she is
Shep.
concerned with getting all sorts of intergalactic strange.
That just means she's getting all the sexy anime guys over there, and she's gonna buddy up with all the attractive females there and be like, hey, have you talked to my friend Joven over there? He's pretty good. Let me tell you. I'm
A
gonna
wingman at Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Okay.
Also, I should say about Shepard, he's a sellout. Oh, every store is my favorite on the Citadel.
Damn right, he's gonna get me a discount at every single booth. I will get the con exclusive.
That's assuming they've given him the endorsement deal. That's like palling around with William Shatner. That is like, you don't want to, like, he's like, Commander Shepard is like the dude sitting in Autograph Alley that you don't want to make eye contact with, but then you accidentally do, and you're
By
like...
the time you guys are done having this argument, Trevor's stolen every con exclusive. We've got him in the room.
Hey,
You come up and
remember the
check
time
him
I
out.
defeated the Reapers? $20 for a photo.
You want Dr. Robotnik.
That's true.
He's-
Yours is an egg-shaped
Yeah,
madman.
he's gonna stand out like a sore thumb. People
An
are gonna wanna,
egg-shaped
like,
madman with wild facial hair. He will blend in at Comic-Con.
he's gonna be like cowering over me. He's gonna be bumping into everyone. Everyone's gonna hate being around you. Plus,
You can't fly that
people
thing
love
over a crowd, the
animals.
propellers.
Peter's probably, I'm assuming, down there petitioning something, and they're gonna see him and want to attack him. Whereas Shepard is a fan of all animals.
All those dangerous terrorists in PETA should probably not be allowed in the convention center.
That's true. That's true.
All right, guys. Final thoughts.
No argument.
Dan, the egg-shaped man on your egg-shaped ship. You are the Eggman. You got nothing?
Cuckoo. Oh, you want me to defend
Yeah,
you? I thought you were
final-
just. I
no,
thought you were just
final
rattling it off.
thoughts. I wanna know.
All
Do you
right,
have any
look,
final thoughts?
Look. If you want someone that's going to blend in, get you from point A to point B, and give you a cuddly army of chrome monster bots to hang out with, instead of boring old Funkos that you can just are just probably going to sell on eBay later on anyway. Let's be honest. Go with Dr. Robotnik. He is an unconventional choice, but he's the one that you want at a convention.
Okay. Joven, your final thoughts on Girl Shop.
Comic-Con is more than just the different halls. Comic-Con is San Diego. There's so many events that are happening all over the place, and you get a bad case of FOMO there. Like, what am I going to miss out on? Shepard will get you anywhere that you want to be because they want Shepard there at their party. You're going to have the best damn time of your life in San Diego doing all the things you want to.
He's going to make you go mine for minerals in Old Town.
Okay. Lon?
Fun!
What's the complaint about Comic-Con? There's so much going on. There's so much fun stuff to do, but the lines, the crowds, you can't get what you want. You can't get the poster. You can't get into the hall. With Trevor Phillips, you get in wherever you want. Nobody's giving him a hard time. Sure, maybe you don't get invited to go back to San Diego next year, but the question was not who's the best person to hang out with at San Diego Comic-Con that will also get you invited to come back next year. That's not part of the parameters. So I say you're leaving it all on the floor. You're going for 3 days. That'll be the time of your life.
Time of your life. Okay. This is intense. Not a whole lot of fact-checkery to go on there, Nikole, right?
No, all that pretty much checks out.
Yeah, it all checks out. It's all 100% accurate. All right. I've been stuck in a crowded area with a man dressed like Eggman, dressed like Dr. Robotnik, and it is not fun.
Bad flashbacks.
No, it's not true. No, but you had some interesting arguments. There are some tough ones, though. The fact that you're wandering around, like Joven said, with a gigantic egg-shaped human being, not fun. I feel like getting kicked out of Comic-Con, probably not the most fun experience either. I feel like going around with a hot Shep girl and possibly getting in every party, like you said. I gotta give this one to Joven.
On a roll. On a roll.
There it is.
Have you
Give him
been
a round
kicked
of
out of a
applause.
casino? It's a great time that was had before getting kicked out, so maybe there is some fun to get kicked out of.
Not a
Comic-Con.
great time had by all. So right now we're looking at, we've got Mr. Dan Casey with 2 points, Joven with 3 points. You guys are going to go to the boss battle. I think we don't even need a speed round. You guys are going to go straight to the
Don't even
boss
need
battle. You are going to sit right there because
I
I'm
will.
probably going to ask you your opinion at the end here. But before we do all that, we got to thank our awesome sponsor, which is Full Sail University. Gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry with creative individuals needed to make tomorrow's next big game. You can do anything from working in the art industry of gaming. You can work with their art graduate students and their art undergraduate degree, and you can work with several different game development graduate degrees. You can basically be a part of the gaming community with all the different things that Full Sail has to offer, including working on such games as the alumni have worked on, like Far Cry 4, the Call of Duty series, Destiny. Full Sail grads have kind of done it all, and you can actually get all those tools and learn more. All you got to do is go to fullsail.edu/Smosh Games. Hey, look, right down there. And check out more information. So thank you to the guys at Full Sail. Really excited to have you on board as a sponsor. And with that in mind, let's go right into the boss battle.
Boss battle! You guys are missing out.
I'm nervous and scared.
You should be.
Oh, I had a Harry Potter game.
I'm sorry. You didn't know nothing. So here's
God.
I asked you guys to pitch me on something. I am, I guess, a Comic-Con veteran, I've been through all the wars of Comic-Con.
The Comic-Con wars.
The Comic-Con wars are hard. This is something like my 26th Comic-Con in a row.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been to a few, back when it was in the basement of the W Hotel. What we have noticed, us Comic-Conites, is that young adult novels and franchises have been taking over our Hall H's and all of our things. Twilight Sisses and your Divergent Sisses and Hunger Games and such. So my question to you guys, in playing with that theme, Joven, Dan, I want you guys to pitch me a popular YA novel turned into a video game. What is
YA novel got turned into a video game?
YA young adult franchise.
Oh, YA, the letter Y, the letter A.
See, to us bookies, YA. See, he knows. He's in Barnes and Nobles. YA is young adult, a young adult series that should be adapted to a video game. Pitch me on it. And Joven, since you're actually in the lead,
too much pressure.
Yeah, this is for all of it.
This is the Injustice universe.
This is it. This is it. Joven, tell me, what do you got? What's your pitch?
Keeping the movies out of this, I believe that the Percy Jackson series would be great to be adapted into a video game. It really took Greek mythology, which so many people love. It's fun to follow. It's been utilized in so many video games, but really turns it on its side and gives it a modern pitch. Percy Jackson, you play as, is the son of Poseidon, and would have to go through the trials and tribulations that he has throughout the game. You'd be seeing these modern versions of these Greek characters and god characters in a different world, a different fashion. So there's a lot of room creatively to work with. Whether he had to deal with the Minotaur, he had to deal with Medusa. Zeus is constantly causing problems. Obviously, God of War has found so much success banking on Greek gods, now Norse gods, to take that element, put it into a game that all ages could play, because M is rated mature. Now Percy Jackson can bring the lore of Greek gods into a fun platform for all ages to be able to enjoy the books in a animated version, if you will.
Okay, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief and all the others. Mr. Dan Casey.
All right, my choice is
I'm going up against an author here. An author.
Available now on Amazon.com, wherever fine books are sold. My choice is His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, specifically the first book, The Golden Compass. Imagine, if you will, walk with me on this journey. An alternate history version of Victorian London. You are Lyra Balakwa, a young orphan girl. Or not an orphan, I should say. That I'm going to get fact check on that. She's not an orphan, but her father isn't exactly present. And she is someone who winds up having to go on this universe-changing adventure. This is going to be a Ni no Kuni style Japanese RPG with those mechanics, because she has something called a demon, which is sort of like a little spirit animal that stays by her and fights alongside her. And she winds up going on this crazy journey with armored bears and witches and these horrifying experiments that this gigantic organization, which is like a stand-in for the church, is doing on children. It's an epic quest. It's something that would be a fantastic place to explore. Has all the trappings and experiences that you want from a massive sprawling RPG. A great story as well. And it deals with mature themes. It's not going to talk down to you like a lot of other YA out there. It's going to treat you
Young
like
adult.
it's emphasis on the adult, not the young part. It's marketed towards YA, but it's something you can appreciate whether you are a young adult or a regular adult. And also, it's got armored bears in it, fighting other bears. There's war zeppelins. There's everything you could possibly want from a game encapsulated in this novel. And I think if you applied that to a JRPG style game, it could be spectacular.
Okay. Cool. Percy Jackson versus His Dark Materials. You guys, I want you to duke it out. Tell me more about the game. What is the game itself? Fight.
The game is going to touch on themes that anyone could relate to, because it's about finding who you are in a world of gods. And so you'd have a platformer-based game. Each level is dealing with a different god or obstacle that you have to deal with, all trying to get up to the 600th story of the Empire State Building, which is modern Olympus. But way over on the West Coast is Los Angeles, where apparently is the underworld. world, and you have to then travel to the underworld to take on the biggest demons that America has seen. Donald
Real
Trump himself.
Housewives.
Yeah. So I think every level would be a different theme, a modern version of another god, and so to be able to see that representation would be beautiful. It'd be artistic. It'd be great. Whereas a JRPG, those don't really do well in the Western video game territories.
So pretend I just said RPG. And you just apply the JRPG mechanics, because this is a Western story. I'm just talking about gameplay mechanics. This is a sprawling role-playing game in which you play as a vibrant young girl with a sense of adventure who is trying to find out what happened to her father after finding some of his journals and trying to find out where he went, because he's always talked about this bridge in the sky, and she's finding out where he went, and it leads to another dimension, a multiverse, if you will. It opens up so many possibilities. And basically, you, alongside your demon, have to explore and uncover the mystery, battling along the way, trying to escape a nefarious religious hierarchy that is trying to stamp you down, trying to escape scientists that want to experiment on you and rip that demon, your spirit animal, away from you. This is something that would have awesome combat. It have like I go to Ni no Kuni because I thought that was a great example. It's more mature than Pokemon in terms of like how it explores. I love the Pokemon RPG battle system, but I think this would be more of a real-time combat system in which you issue orders to your helper, and you as well can fight. But you're a little fragile because you're a child. Like, you're being asked to do the impossible. So you undertaking this mission, going on this sprawling story, provide hundreds of hours of entertainment.
Cool. Final thoughts? You guys are not... let me hear why yours is better than the others.
Final thoughts. I think that your game, though, has the potential to possibly be good. I think it's going to be a little more niche. I don't think there's too many games like it. Whereas a strong platformer with Greek lore that people are familiar with, it's a great selling point. It's easily marketable. I think it just reaches a much larger audience. And I think that's what makes a great game sometimes.
Solid.
Look, I had to be careful about the hole I was about to step into.
Yeah.
Look, platformers by and large are a dead genre. Case in point, Yooka-Laylee. I'm pretty sure they had to kickstart that game even to get it made. If you want a vibrant game, a vibrant genre, for example, one that has plenty of gameplay innovation since it first came into the scene, look at an RPG. And then you apply a story like this that is so engrossing, has captured the minds of so many people, and is going to offer mature storytelling and a very addictive combat system. I think that this is something that you can apply the source material to in a brand new, inventive way that will elevate the material and enhance its experience.
I think playing the platformer side, platform games have become such a large genre that it's not like Mario. Mario used to be the platform game, and you're working on verticals here, whereas a game like God of War is considered a platformer, or a game like Bloodborne is a platformer. I think that platformers aren't bad or dead.
No, but if I want a game steeped in Greek mythology, I'll just wait for God of War 4.
That's Norse.
Yeah, but you still have
you want a
Kratos
modern
coming from the
version.
Greek.
Like, who doesn't love a modern version of
Also,
something?
Norse mythology better than Greek mythology, hands down, all day. I'll
coming
fight you on this.
Coming from an author. Okay. All right. Nikole, here's the fun fact. I just needed to do a little bit of my own fact checking. Neither of you did. There was both a Percy Jackson and a Lightning Thief video game, very poorly received,
Yeah, very
and a
bad.
Golden Compass video game, very poorly
Very
received.
bad as well.
But
did not mention
that all
that.
aside, yours was a platformer and yours was an RPG. Very interesting and ironic. Nikole, your thoughts?
Like you said, there were video games for both of these, but they were not for the books themselves. They were for the movie adaptation. So
The
I
movie
think
was so bad.
Always
both of
bad.
their arguments are still fair. And then Joven said that the JRPG game that Dan had pitched would not be successful, and Dan kept comparing his game to Ni no Kuni, which did make sold over 1 million copies. So that
1 million
gameplay
copies
style-
is like 10 copies in like 86 or
Let's
something.
say
Like,
each game costs $60.
like
Not
people
how
sell
inflation
like
works.
people
That is
sell
not how inflation works at all.
millions upon
Look it
millions
up.
of copies
Someone
of a game
teach
now.
you inflation and math, please.
Can we fact check that?
Yeah. Was 1 million copies in the 80s 10 copies now? I don't think that's right at all.
No, that isn't accurate.
Okay,
No.
great. Thank
This
you.
close,
She's
this
going to have to
close.
look it up.
This close.
Just
Okay. Interesting. It was very interesting to note that you guys have flip-flopped from the original games.
That's amazing.
But I honestly, based on your arguments, Percy Jackson, Lightning Thief, platformer where you fight a bunch of Greek gods, modernized Greek gods, is
Super cool. I know, right? Point Joven. I win. Thank you.
3 God of War games. His Dark Materials. I got to give this one to Mr. Dan Casey. You get it, sir. That's a win noise. That's a better win noise.
Ooh.
There we go.
Noises.
Congratulations to Dan Casey. You're the winner of today's Gamer Fights.
So close.
Yay!
Thank you.
Well deserved. You paint a beautiful picture with your words.
Joven, you didn't pull a Joven this week.
No, I didn't.
You walked away pretty okay.
I got points.
You got some points. Dan Casey did win the title fights. You did it. You beat everybody. You handsome man, you. Lon Harris, you definitely, we call pulling a Joven.
Yep, I
When
did
you
one.
make it all the way through without a point.
I
Yeah,
thought you couldn't see because it's under the table.
that's called tugging a Joven. That's a different
Yeah.
thing.
Available only to Plus subscribers.
Big thanks to all of you guys. Lon Harris, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at LONS, and if you are a Screen Junkies Plus subscriber, and I hope that you are, you can hear me popping up on all sorts of the shows, Monday Night Raw and several others.
All the things. Very funny tweets, this man. Lots of funny tweets. Follow him. Other funny tweets if you don't care about spelling errors. Joven, where can people find you?
What's up, guys? I'm the Ovenshire on the internet. I'd actually like to pimp out my Facebook page for a moment because I'm on fire with my memes. Seriously, Facebook.com/thejovenshire. They go to Twitter and Instagram also, but my video game memes are so good right now. Like, for reals.
An adult male is as proud of his memes.
I hope that's on your tombstone. He was on fire with his memes.
On fire. Dat boy, Jovenshire.
Beloved father, son, tank memer.
Beloved memer.
Dan Casey, where can people find you?
You can find me online at osteoferocious like the crippling bone disease, but meaner because at Dan Casey was taken by a ginger who's never used his account. Please give it back to me. And yeah, you can also find me on Nerdist.com. I have a show there, Dan Cave, every week on Wednesdays. And yeah, you can find my books online wherever fine books are sold.
And slow motion Japanese.
Yes, Slow-Mo Destructo, episode 1 with Ty Dolla $ign, where he is blazed out of his mind, destroying glass bowls full of Skittles with a giant hammer, is on Nerdist.com right now, and we have 5 more episodes coming next month, I believe.
Very exciting. Thank you very much. Our fact checker, Nikole Z. Thank you, Nikole.
Thank you so much for having me, everybody. And make sure to send in your character fight suggestions and any questions you have and any suggestions you have to #GamerFights.
#GamerFights. And to all of you Smosh Games fans out there that are watching this right now on YouTube with a lot of question marks over your head, you can watch this each and every Friday over on ScreenJunkies.com. We're going to have a link in the description as well as something clickable in the end card. You guys can watch it. Until then, I am your judge and host, Matt Raub. Thank you guys very much. And until next time, bye, everybody. Way! Hey guys, thanks again for watching, and don't forget you can check out GamerFights each and every week. It is happening over on ScreenJunkies.com. Click over to the link on the left to find out how you can sign up and watch more GamerFights. And a big thanks again to Full Sail University. You can find out how to be a part of video games as a developer or even somebody who just loves video games. Click that link in the description, and while I've got you, you're going to want to check out our brand new Pokemon Go show. It's over here on the link on the right. Check it!